Hello everyone, my name is Neapolitan here, coming at you with my second YouTube video. This is my November monthly anime update, recording it at the end of December. I'm a whole month behind, but better late than never. Mainly took me a while because I did not complete the drawings until recently, and then recently got a new mic. So hopefully this video sounds better. Um, and I was delayed recording the audio for this a couple days because I needed to get a XLR cable. But like I said, better late than never. So should have this video out at the very beginning of this next year, January. I'll try and edit it all New Year's Eve and get it published, or either get it released beginning of January. I mean, you'll see in the when it's released. And then I hope to get my December update done within at least like 10 days into January. That'll take some time. And then I do want to get my fall 2024 rankings out because I know a lot of people have it out already. They do it like a few weeks early or whatnot. I do like finishing the anime before I rank them or whatnot. Besides, like, I guess One Piece because it's ongoing. But so I will probably be a bit late on that. I'm also trying to binge watch a lot of the seasonals I missed. I mean, I watched about maybe 15 or so. I want to bump that number up if I'm doing a video, but I also do need a draw for both of those videos, which I would like to continue with that because I think that just adds a new unique unique twist to my content, makes it a little bit different. You can see my journey as I go on. But yeah, so let's get started. First up is Pet Shop of Horrors. This anime is pretty weird. It's a 4-episode show about a guy named Count D who has a pet shop in Chinatown that sells rare and exotic supernatural pets to people. Didn't quite enjoy it, as horror isn't really my cup of tea, but I didn't think it was bad either. I know a lot of people do like it a lot, but so I can see why people enjoy that, but it's not really my type of thing. Although I do enjoy good horror, but I feel like it's just harder to satisfy me if it's horror. The first episode was about this family whose daughter died. So the parents go buy a rabbit that turns that visually turns into the daughter of this family, and they're told to only feed it veggies. Kind of really reminded me of the movie Christmas movie Gremlins. I mean, it's pretty much like that. And then it was like once they fed something that was not the raw veggies or whatever, they multiplied, and it kind of looked like the Great Maw Beast from ReZero, the White Rabbit. But that was an alright episode. Second episode was pretty freaky. It's about this guy, I believe he was an agent for this actor, or something like that, who married her, and she died. I forgot how, but he gets a mermaid. He finds a mermaid from County who looks like her, and then he keeps her in his pool. And then like this mermaid is like chanting him, singing for him, and lures him into the pool to get in with her, and then like kills him and like eats him in the pool. It was really freaky. Did not really like it. I mean, I did like it, but it was just freaky. Uh, third episode. I don't really remember too much besides it being about an actor, and he gets like this chameleon or something. At least the chameleon's standing over him, like when he's dead at the end of the episode. Don't really remember too much about it. Probably should have gone back to rewatch that episode, but I didn't really want to. But I do know he was an actor, and like he was going through like all his different roles or something. And then the fourth episode, which might be my favorite, is about this guy helping his friend run for president. And I believe he's in love with the president's wife. And then he wants to get like a pet for her to comfort her and like keep her company because he's busy. The husband's a bit busy running for president. So he goes to the most shady shop, of course, and Count D ends up seeing her and wants to give them a Kirin, which is like a Japanese mythical chimera. Mr. President, I should probably figure out what his name is, but Mr. President and his attendant go to pick it up, and it looks like a little girl. And so they like talk about it for a bit and end up taking her, but it's actually a dragon that disguises a little girl. Like she's like all dressed up like, and I don't know how I'd explain how she's dressed up. Maybe I can show a picture, but she just brings misfortune, and there's like this accident, runaway school bus, while like they're driving home on the highway, and they try to save the school bus full of kids, and they do, but they end up crashing, and they end up, Mr. President ends up, no, Mr. President's running friend, like attendant, ends up dying. But when it pans to the scene of the hospital, and we see the president lying there, it's actually Mr. President's attendant who's in Mr. President's body and replaced him. So now he's living in the president's body, just basically lives as if he were him. He seems pretty happy because he gets to be with the girl who he liked, the wife, Mr. President's wife, even though he's not himself. Like he's in his friend's body. It's pretty weird, but I mean, I don't know how much. I mean, it is pretty creepy, but I mean, that's not a bad thing for what's supposed to be horror. I didn't really talk about the investigator who was like the quote good guy that was trying to look into Count D and like all his shenanigans at this weird pet shop. Because I feel like he didn't do too much. There was like a few scenes with him, like even with just him alone, like at the office with like his co-workers, but like it wasn't too much. Maybe that's different in the manga, because I know the manga's longer and this is like only 4 episodes, only 4 stories. Manga has like, I believe 12 volumes or so, something like that. So it had some nice moments. I can see why people like it. Not for me though. I don't regret trying it, however, because it's good to try different things. But I'll probably rate it either low B or high C, depending on where everything else goes. So I can leave it a B for now. Next up is the Data Live Date to Date OVA. I'll keep this one short just because it is a one-off episode, but I did watch Data Live 2 before this OVA, even though this OVA comes before Data Live 2. It's not a bad OVA. I was pretty surprised at how unhinged it was. I mean, I know OVAs are like usually has more fan service or it's a little more unhinged, but I feel like this was like another level of unhinged, and like with the fan service and like the ecchi and whatnot. But basically, Shido, the main character, goes on a date with Origami. She's like a white hair girl, pretty quiet. She's like in like this military containment force or whatever that fights the spirits when they come down. I'd say she's the best main girl so far. He's trying to get her to hate him by just saying and requesting all these like unhinged things, and she does not care and just accepts like anything he says, like whether it's like he's a like a fat otaku loser, or like request her to like dress up in like school swimsuit with like dog ears, or like to wear a collar or a leash or something like that. It's like she just does not care and just wants him. It was a pretty funny one off. And then I did notice the teaser for the twin spirits in the background, which was a nice little teaser. But I'd say I enjoyed it more than Petshop of Horror, so put it ahead of that in B tier. And then next up is Data Live 2. I'll also try to keep this short because I don't have too much to say about it, and it's just like an alright show. It was the good sequel to like a show I don't think is great, but it's like it's a fun watch. Beginning part with the twins, Kaguya and Yuzuru, that was pretty fun. Both of them were trying to like compete with each other, and they end up in front of Shido. They compete to see who's better at like seducing him or like whatnot, and have Shido pick who won, so they could end their tie, because they need to merge together or something, and only one of them has to like consume the other, and so they're just competing to see who would be the better one to consume the other. It seems like with season 2 they upped the ecchi a lot, like compared to season 1. Maybe I'm misremembering how much season 1 had, but it's an enjoyable second part. And I mean, I do like how it ended with the twins. Of course, they end up liking Shido, and they're like still trying to win him over with like all the other spirits he's collected. I mean, it's just dumb fun. The second part was also pretty enjoyable. It dealt with this spirit idol who uses her like singing as commands and controls over others. She only likes girls because she has like some trauma with like either a man or men. I believe it's because she was an normal idol before, and then was getting like got a lot of hate or something, lost a lot of support over like a couple scandals or something, and so she hates men. She only likes girls, and so Shido has to go seal her powers, and to do that, he has to cross-dress as a girl and win her over. And to like seal a spirit's powers, he has to like kiss them. And so sometimes takes takes a man to be the best girl. His costume was pretty convincing, and it was funny how he had like that tech where it changed like his voice, so he could like try and go undercover better. But in the end, though, he gets through to her even after she found out that Shido was a guy, and she was like controlling the other spirits he sealed to hunt him down. I think I do prefer the second part more to the first, or the second half of the season more than the first half. Like with all the idol stuff, just seems to be a little more, has a bit more substance compared to the first half. Like with the whole getting over the trauma, she has the whole backstory. The last part, well, the very last part though was a bit because like there's like this organization trying to kidnap Toka throughout the whole season. Like they fail until like the end. They like kidnapped her, brainwashed her for a bit during the whole idol confusion, where like Shido's getting hunted down, and eventually they come together. Of course, Gurumi, yes, she comes back and helps Shido infiltrate the company building to go save Toka, and that's also a part of how he wins. The idol, her name's Miku Izayoi, Izoi, Zoe, Zoe, Izayoi. That's how he wins her over, just because of his will, his will to save Toka. But I did enjoy Day Live, and I mean, I don't really think too much when I watch it. I just go in for dumb fun. Yeah, it was all right. I'd probably rank it above the OVA just because it has more substance. However, the OVA was pretty funny. And then next up, we have No Game, No Life. Where do I start with this? It's like, why is there no season 2? It's been, was it 10 years? Yeah, it came out in 2014. 10 years and no sequel. I'm a little confused about that. We will get one, right? I believe we will at some point. I mean, I'm not counting the movie, but season 2. Definitely not coping at all. I really do hope we get one. But anyways, on to the little review. Solid opening, really liked it. Solid ending as well, really liked that. I didn't really know what I was going to expect going in. Besides that, I knew it was like an isekai about video games and how everyone in the anime community loved it and were just asking where season 2 was and how that was a meme. At the start, I didn't really like the red tint in the art style. Everything just, it seemed to have a red tint, kind of like the opposite of a piss filter, where it's so saturated yellow. It was just red everywhere. But I mean, it grew on me as I progressed through the episodes. I didn't really mind it as much. It only took a couple episodes to get me hooked. I was a bit confused, or not confused. I was just a bit. All right, let's get into this at the first episode, halfway through. But after a couple episodes, it really won me over, and I mean, I stuck with the whole way through. I was wanting to watch each next episode as soon as the previous one finished. Sora and Shido are summoned as new players in this world where everything's decided by a game, whether it's invasion or you're winning over territory or whatever. It's decided over a game. And then they find Stephine Dola, who was about to lose the castle because her father was the previous king, because the king said before dying that he wanted the next throne to be decided by games. And so they go around, help her, and then they take over as the king and queen for Shido. But they go move on and bring more power back to the humans because they're 16th place out of all 16 races. They are the underdog. I'm really glad I watched the show. It is a bit of a shame though that it took so long for me to get to it, because I remember back sometime in 2023 there was a seasonal show called Liar Liar, and I really enjoyed the first few episodes. It's pretty similar to this, where you have to use games to fight for ranks and whatever. The guy was really smart, thinking ahead, and just good at games, and ends up always winning when things are even against them, whether they're cheating or they're quote a better rank. So I really liked that concept. However, I mean, Liar Liar was it was an okay show, but oh man, No Game No Life was just so much better. Whether it's just animation, even voice acting, or just the whole concept in general, it was just so much better. And I think I like the games more as well in this. It's a perfect show. It really satisfied the itch for what Liar Liar gave me. Because it's like, I want to find a show similar to this, but that's just better. Because I love the first few episodes of it. I do think the supporting cast was great, and I did like where it ended off. Ending was pretty satisfying. Although in the beginning, I was like, where are they going to stop in this? I feel like this is going to go on for like 4 or 5 seasons, but obviously there's only one season. Happy where it ended off. It honestly really makes me want to go through the light novels, and I do pray that season 2 does happen. I think my favorite game was the word game against, I believe her name's Jibril, the the youngest and the strongest of the Fugal race. I really loved her game, or yeah, their game with her, and how they won her over. Oh, it was just like twist after twist after twist, and you know he's just like he was thinking ahead from the very beginning, and I just it was peak, absolute cinema. But yeah, that's No Game No Life. Gotta put it in S tier. I mean, these other anime do not have anything, or that I've talked about so far do not have anything on No Game No Life. Alright, so next up is Hibike Euphonium. This is a very solid show by KyoAni. I am a sucker for music anime, and it didn't disappoint. I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about it. Obviously, it's KyoAni, so like their standards is like really high. I had like a friend hyping it up when season 3 was coming out, telling me I should watch it. Yeah, let's get into it. I always enjoy a good underdog story because like the whole school kind of was like just mid at orchestra or band or whatever, and they New Year's come in, new sensei, and then they're like they want to compete. But very beautiful animation as always. I feel like that's a given. If only all good anime had KyoAni's like treatment. I do understand it takes time to cook. Solid opening. I don't really remember the ending too much. I like the main character Kumiko, although I wouldn't say she's up there in my like top favorites of this show. Like among the other cast, some of the other cast, my favorite has got to be Natsuki Nakagawa. She's the shy, reserved second year that isn't too interested in playing at first, but then gets like motivated after like they have auditions because they have to like cut down the team to like 60 for like the competition. She's definitely my favorite. And then I also really like Reina, who is another first year who Kumiko knew from middle school. She's pretty quiet and reserved as well. Doesn't really talk a lot, but she's not afraid to speak her mind. Like whether it's like someone talking about like Taki Sensei in a bad way or like any performance like issues, like whether it's someone else or her. And I really like her dynamic with Kumiko. There was that like Yuri bait at the end. It's kind of funny. The other two first years didn't like too much. I also really liked Asuka at the beginning. Like I was like, oh, she's cool, right? After like 4 or 5 episodes, she kind of like started started being more indifferent about her, and once we kept getting pieces of what like she really feels, where she was like, I don't care, I just want to play, like totally reasonable, but like she kind of fell off for me on like the scale. Uh, like I said, didn't really like any of the other two first years, Hazuki Katao and Sapphire. They were alright, but like I felt a little bored with like the whole Hazuki and like Shuichi subplot, and like where they went like on a date for the like firework festival, and I do feel bad for uh, uh Katao, Kato, but I mean can't force romance. I did really enjoy the music and like the playing throughout the whole show, whether it was like them doing like that march march or like the competition or like even just like the solos, like where they're like practicing by themselves. Really loved it. I do love music. I also really liked the eye catchers for like the show, like where it showed like all the people of like each subsection. Like you got like the horns, you got like the bass, you got like the people like in the back that do like the xylophones and like the triangle or whatever. I really like those eye catchers. Although I probably want to go back and look at them again just because now I know more of the characters. In the beginning I didn't, so I was like, what is going on? Yoshikawa was also a bit annoying, constantly like glazing Karuy, who is like a third year. She kept going after Reina, my girl, and so it was a bit annoying, but she seemed to settle down towards the end. It was a bit sad to see Kaori lose the solo to Reina, but although I do feel like in my heart I would want to give the solo to her just because Reina's going to have a couple other years. It is more fair to have the better player play it. But I love their whole performance at the end. I'm really glad like they just like it was like either 10 or 12 minutes, I believe, where it's just straight just music. It's not really any talking. I don't think there was. And it just showed them playing. Really love that. I can't remember if there's something else I wanted to mention, but I am glad I finally got to this. It's been on my list for a while, and I've only heard great things about it. It was a fun watch, although I kind of watched it fast, so I kind of got a little burnt out, but I did like it a lot. So I'll put it in A tier. I think that's a good spot. I definitely enjoyed it more than like these other shows, but no game, no life hits different. And so next up we have Honoo no Tenkousei. Bring up the English name. There is no English name, but it says Blazing Transfer Student. I did not really enjoy this. It was a short OVA about this kid, Noboru, transferring to like a new school where all disputes are settled in the boxing ring. Didn't really enjoy it. Didn't really like any of the characters. The action was goofy, which I'm sure is intended, like given the punch names, like the like antagonist punch name was like insect killing punch, and like everyone was like super hyped when he was using it. I'm just like, what is happening? And then like talk Noburu's punch name was like Takizawa Railway Punch because he was like practicing his punch while he was like waiting for the train. Characters felt super 2D. There was not really a story. Maybe the manga's better because it has like 12 volumes. Maybe I got the volume mix amount mixed like with Pet Shop and this, but would not watch this again. Did not make me want to read the manga. I'm sorry, it was not for me. I mean, like the animation was like fluid, at least I guess. It's the one thing. So I'll drop it down in D. Next up is Golden Kamuy. I do not know where to start with this. I guess I'll start with the opening and ending. Love the opening. Love the ending. I wasn't too big of a fan of Man with like a Mission. Man with a Mission, who's the band that did the opening. I still like their music, like some of their other songs. Like I know I and like not love, like they're like My Hero, the opening, and like I believe they had like Demon Slayer songs as well. But otherwise, I haven't really heard much of them. Although I hear everyone likes them a lot. But this opening really won me over in that regard, like what their style is and all that, and it is a fantastic opening. I did like the ending too, but definitely prefer the opening. Not too much to say about the ending. I guess we'll start with characters. I loved most of the characters pretty fast. Uh, Sugimo- Sugimoto is the main character. Soldier who's like, I guess I don't know if he's considered deserted. I mean, he wears his uniform like all the time. And then Asidipa, who is Ainu, that was just chilling before. But I really like their dynamics and how like they play off each other. Their chemistry is pretty good. I love how we get to just see Sugimoto learn like with us about like Ainu culture, like the Hina, the chip chap, chip chip tap or something like that is a pretty good way to like, have us learn about all that. We don't really get to learn much about Sugimoto in season 1, but we learn a decent amount of like Asirupa's background and like backstory. I didn't really like Shiraishi's character too much in the beginning. When I heard his voice, I just immediately thought of Renji from Bleach, because like they have the same VA. I couldn't really take him seriously, which I mean he's not supposed to be taken seriously. He is comic relief, but he definitely grew on me about like halfway through or so, and I do like the trio's dynamic. Like once they get like after they know him for a little bit. The main villain, Lieutenant Tsurumi, Lieutenant Tsurumi. Uh, he has a few, if not more, screws that are loose, and he's pretty crazy. I mean, he is missing like part of his frontal lobe from like a grenade. I like his design, and his VA did a good job with him. He's probably the main villain of season 1, I think. And there was like a couple side-ish villains. Hijikata and Ogata. They're solid characters. Didn't get to see too much of them in this season, but I did like Hijikata. And once I saw him, I was like, oh, that's Hijikata from Gintama. Because, both from Shinsengumi. And I was just like, how did my male loving man turn into this? But, and then Ogata, who I didn't really care for until like late season 1, maybe season 2. Story wise, I got really invested after just a few episodes. It starts off with Sugimoto, who's fighting in the Russo-Japanese War, and it started off pretty gory. And then once we moved out of that, it settled down a bit more. I mean, there's still a good amount of gore, good amount of like disturbing scenes, whether it's like torture or like someone losing an eyeball. I'm pretty sure someone loses an eyeball or like a leg or whatnot. He hears about a story or a rumor about this person, Napper who stole the Ainu gold and hid it, who is and hid it, and who is currently a prisoner of like the government. And the prison had like a big breakout, and the prisoners has tattoos on them to lead to where the gold is located, because he wanted to like get the gold to his friends. And then so Sugimoto meets Asiripa in the mountains, and they had to like fight off a bear together because it was like the middle of the night, and I believe there was like a dead cub or something and so they had to like take care of the mama bear, and it was pretty cool to see how their teamwork started off, and then they team up, join forces, and hunt for this gold, and then season 1 follows them gathering around information, or beginning of season 1 follows them around gathering information and copies of these tattoos. Middle part of season 1, that little arc was fun, like the hunting arc, where Tanigaki, who was previously a soldier under Lieutenant Tsumi, deserts because he got like beat up by Ashiriba and saw the white wolf and wanted to hunt that, like for sport. And so he joins up with this hunter, Tetsuzo Nihei, to hunt down the white wolf. Action was a lot of fun, and like it was fun to see their like different tactics. And the ending for the hunter was satisfying because he ends up dying. I do really like how the characters are. I mean, some of them are like just good or just plain evil, but a lot of them aren't just good or just evil. It's like it's not black and white, because you know you see some people helping out others, some helping out these guys, and it's like, oh, next day we're helping out these guys just because that's where things align. And so Tanigaki got like injured during that skirmish, that battle, and he was taken back by the main group to the Ainu village to help him recover. And so like we see him like mellow out and like not want to hunt the white wolf anymore, doesn't want to go back to the army, and so he's like not doing his own thing while just recovering in the Ainu village. The murder hotel episode was a really fun watch. With like the two different groups coming together to capture slash look into Kano Lenaga, a prisoner who has tattoos, and I believe was like missing or something. But yeah, I mean they don't directly team up, but like she sets the house on fire because of like there's like some sort of like Molotov went off, I think, and so they were all escaping and like all that. But it was fun to see what is his name? He's the big muscly head guy, Ushiyama and Shiripa, like how they were talking and like she really respects Ushiyama. I guess I'll also talk about Kido Anke. He was an alright addition. Didn't seem to be very interesting, but he was sort of helpful. It was kind of boring slash bland at the start, because like he was a pretty late addition, and I mean he has more stuff to do in season 2, but this is about season 1. And I guess we'll talk about other character that was introduced at the end of season 1. Ink Armat. I loved her design. I butchered her name. I love her design though, voice, etc. Just everything about her. She was pretty cool. Really caught my attention. Although she is slightly sus at in the beginning, and it was a lot of fun just watching her do like the fortune telling with like I believe it was Shiraishi, who was like addicted to betting on the horses. So she just kept using that to help him win money. And I'm really glad we got more of her in season 2, which I'll be talking about in December's video. Season 1 didn't end off on a big cliffhanger or anything. They get on like some horses and like they're gonna travel to like another city in Japan to like look for something or like gather some resources. I don't exactly remember, but they just get on horses and then it's the end. So not a big cliffhanger, but it got me hooked. Really wanted to get to like the next season and the next episode. Another thing I did forget to talk about was the comedy. I was laughing out loud multiple times, which I wasn't really expecting going into this. It was really great. They seem to balance it out well, so it's not like not too much comedy, like a Marvel movie, or like it's not too tense, which I thought it would have more. It would just like be straight action and like drama, just from like what I've read of like the synopsis. I do like the art style, although it does seem to be a bit blocky at some points. Sometimes they have like square heads, but I still like the art style. The animation did seem good to me for the most part. I feel like there were some instances where it didn't look the best, or like there's like a bit of inconsistency. I thought it was consistent enough and like good enough like the whole way through. It didn't really like take away from the experience. Although I really do wonder what I don't know how well it would work with Golden Kamuy, but like Vinland Saga's like animation slash treatment with Golden Kamuy. Cause like Vinland Saga is really well made, and it's like it's kind of similar. It's like action, historical, adventure. Like I really would wonder what Golden Kamuy would look like with like that kind of like animation slash treatment. I didn't hate it. Didn't take away from it, so it was solid. I don't know if they had like what their budget was or anything. The CGI was a bit funny because like the bear was like fully CGI, and like the bear came up sometimes. It really reminded me of like Kamikatsu's gag CGI like in the beginning. If you're interested in historical adventures with like a dash of comedy, and this is like a perfect show for you. And I will definitely be recommending it to people. I was actually recommended this by a friend about a year or so ago. He told me about it, told me to watch it, and I'm really glad that he did. Although I did get to it pretty late. I'd say it's either S tier or top A. I'd probably say S because I I did enjoy it a lot more than Hibike Hibike Euphonium. Although they're like completely different shows, completely different moods. But yeah, I'd probably put it behind No Game No Life for now. Maybe as I did watch season 2. I'm not gonna let that influence me in this ranking, but maybe if we get like to season 4 and like it just keeps getting better, I will look back on this and be like, oh yeah, I like the season and like everything else more than No Game No Life. But for now, No Game No Life gets to keep the top of the list. Next up is actually Free Summer, Eternal Summer, which is the second season of this show. Solid second season. I liked the first. Thought it was good. Wasn't like great. I didn't like fall in love with it. However, I wouldn't say I'm really the target demographic because it's about mainly just boys, like cute boys, doing cute things, and like it's like a lot of eye candy for girls. So I'm not their target demographic, but I still enjoyed it. Opening and ending were all right. I do prefer season one's songs more. Starts off with the main boys all getting along, and Iwatobi going to Rin school to practice with him. And like they were like just doing laps, racing each other and whatnot. And I did enjoy the addition of Sosuke Yamazaki, who joins Rin's team, and he is a childhood friend of Rin before Rin went to Australia to go like do swimming lessons or whatever he did down there. Plus he swam butterfly, so like that's massive respect to him because I hated butterfly. It was so tiring. Maybe I just wasn't doing it well back when I did like classes and like swim or whatnot. But massive respect for that. This season seemed to have most of the like Iwatobi boys go through something. I mean, like even like Ren's team like went through stuff besides like Ren. Like Ren was chill, but like the other three boys of like the main team, they like had like stuff they were going through. Starts with Ray, but like I'll talk about that a little later. But Nagisa was the first one I think, and his parents wanted him to stop the club to focus on studying, which is understandable based off of how bad his grades are or were. And it's like, I can't really blame them. Like, he was like failing like every subject or something. So I mean, I do understand that, and I mean, they don't seem to be very obsessive about grades or like controlling like some other of these anime parents. But that was like one whole little thing going on. There was like Makoto, who was trying to like figure out what he wanted to do after high school, and then there was like Haruka, who was wanting to just like swim for fun and not compete. And he like even gave up during like one of the competitions. It was like the freestyle. I don't know if it was like 100-meter or 200-meter or whatever, but he just like stopped swimming in the middle of it, and like everyone was just like surprised. And then so I feel like they also tried to make us think that Ray was gonna leave, and like there was gonna be that whole drama. That was like the first one, because he was like going home early or like avoiding the club. But it actually turns out he was just practicing with Rin in secret because he wanted to like swim other things other than butterfly. And it's kind of funny how he can only swim butterfly still, and like he just like sinks whenever he does like freestyle or like backstroke, or I'm forgetting what the other one's called, the frog one. I'm kind of surprised they didn't add anyone to the club, like Iwatopi's club, because it's just still just the four of them, and then like Rin's sister as the manager. Like 2 whole seasons, and it's just been the same people the whole time. I'm really surprised they didn't have like one or two new people. It was a solid sequel. Animation solid. KyoAni, of course. It's just interesting to me how this anime came out in like 2014 or so, 2015, something like that, and it just has infinitely better animation than like Blue Lock. They're both sports anime. I mean, although I feel like Free is not as intense because like they're not swimming all the time, right? It's like there's like a lot of the slice of life stuff happening. But still, I feel like Blue Lock could have just gone to a better studio that doesn't have like production issues, or like, whether it's like Madhouse, or I know KyoAni wouldn't do it, but like KyoAni with so it's just somewhere, bro. I wanted Blue Lock to have good animation, but this is not a Blue Lock talk. Rin's team was all right. I mainly only like Rin and Sosuke. The older the old captain's younger brother also joined. His name's Momotaro. He was all right. The fourth guy, I think his name's Aichiro Nitori. He was kind of annoying. Like with this whole, I mean, I understand he wants to like swim with Rin and all that, but he was kind of annoying, and like I don't know if the voice for him helps. There's one thing that I was like pretty confused about, like where Rin dragged Haruka to Australia to like try and motivate him and like help him lift Haruka out of like his slump. It's just, I feel like it's a little weird how Haruka just agreed to a trip out of the country on the spot like that. Like Rin just showed up to his house. Oh, pack your bags, let's go. We're going somewhere. And Haruka's like, okay, and they just go to Australia. I thought that was a little funny. Had a good ending, good vibes all around. I am curious to see where it goes, as I believe most, if not all, of the main characters are graduating, and it was like their last year or whatever. So yeah, I'm really curious as to where that goes. So I'll probably put this B tier. I'm gonna move Petshop of Horrors down one, and put Free below Data Live, because while it's good, I think Data Live appeals to me more. It is like just a dumb female harem ecchi show, and I just turned my brain off. But like Free's alright. I'm sure if you're like a lady, or if you're into guys, you just like seeing a lot of eye candy, you'll like this more. But it was solid. I enjoyed it. Next up is Naruto Akai Yotsuba no Clover, wo Sagase OVA, which is Naruto Find the Crimson Four-Leaf Clover. This OVA was alright. Had a pretty classic Naruto feel, but it's definitely like you could feel it was filler. It's about Hamadu wanting to find like this four-leaf red clover for his crush who is like moving away, and so he won't get to see like her anymore, and so he wanted to go find it, enlist Naruto's help. They go to like track it down, and like there's like this off limits area where it's like training that has like a lot of training for ninjas that has like a lot of traps placed there and whatnot. And so they go there, Team 7, or like the rest of Team 7, Sasuke, Sakura, and then like Kakashi find out. They have to go and like save him. He makes it part of like their training to like go navigate it, go get them out of there. Action was fine. Music hits like the nostalgia feels. Nothing important happens. I mean, it was cool to see Team 7 again together after like me personally not seeing them for like a long time, because it was a long time ago I watched Naruto. I don't even think I finished all the like filler episodes, and I don't think I ever finished Shippuden. So it was nice to see them together again. Nothing important happens. Low C. I feel like I'd get roasted, but I'm putting it ahead of Pet Shop of Horrors. Next, our last up is Karigurashi no Arrietty, which is The Secret World of Arrietty. It was a good Ghibli movie. Nothing crazy. Music was kind of an interesting choice because like there's like a lot of English singing, which I enjoyed. I didn't mind it. Although they catch me off guard, I was like, wait, am I watching the dub? Because I don't watch dub. It was an interesting choice. I enjoyed the music. I feel like all Ghibli movies have good, solid music. Stories about Arrietty and her family, who like look like tiny humans, but they're called borrowers. They're living under this household and borrowing various things of like food and supplies in like tiny amounts, so like humans wouldn't notice like anything missing. Like they take like one little sugar cube, or like they just take like the scraps that are like lost under like the cabinet or whatever. That was pretty cool, and it's like really interesting to just see like how tiny they are and like how they compare to like normal size, like whether it's like tissues or like food, or like and like how they navigate through like the walls. I really like that. I wonder how hard it would be, how hard it would have been to be like an animator to like just scaling everything for them. The sickly kid Sho moves into the house. It's like the relative's house, his relative's house or something, and he discovers Arrietty and her kind, like her family. And so I think Arrietty and Sho were fine characters. There were nothing too special about them. I like other casts of characters more, like of the Ghibli movies. Animation, very consistent. It's Ghibli. It's what you expect. I feel like all their movies like have really solid stuff. Besides, there's like that Earwig one that was like 3D animation, I believe, or CG, something like that. That like I was off put by, but like everything else, very consistent. I did like the dad, but he was pretty quiet, and he was a calm person. He's like the main guy that goes out and borrows stuff, comes back. It's pretty chill. I mean, I feel like you gotta be if you're like sneaking out every night, uh, collecting things so your family can get by. The mom was like pretty annoying. I didn't really like her. She just always, I feel like, kept screaming or worrying or freaking out, and I feel like she didn't have much besides that to her. Although she was kidnapped and she is worried about her daughter, so I do understand those. I mean, I do understand why she was like that, but I feel like she just didn't have much to her besides that. She was kidnapped by Haru. Speaking of Haru, who was like, I believe like the maid, not, I wouldn't say maid, but she was like the one that took care of the house, clean. So I mean, like the housekeeper. She was the housekeeper. She was so annoying. Oh my god. and she was like not. It was not fun when she was like on screen being. Cause I'm sure she was made like that because she like is the villain. It's weird to say like this old woman is a villain, this normal old woman, but she was annoying. She was always talking about the borrowers, trying to kidnap them, trying to find them. Cause she was like, I know they're real, and she actually kidnapped Arrietty's mom. She was just like spazzing out so much. I don't know. She really annoying. I'm glad they got away from her at the end because they had that whole escape sequence with Show helping them, and they go escape and have that one other borrower, named Spiller, I believe, help them like escape and find a new house. And then like the whole ending scene with like they're like in a kettle going down the river. I thought that was a really cool scene. However, in the back of my mind, I was like, what if just some human goes down, sees a kettle? It's like, why is there a kettle down here? And picks it up with them in it. Like, it was just in the back of my head. Overall, not a bad movie, but it's not one I'm likely to come back to often. Maybe like every fewish years or so, if I get like an itch for it. I feel like I would rather watch a lot of the other Ghibli movies. And then also maybe after I watch all the Ghibli like movies, and like I believe they have like a show, I could do like a ranking of all of those. Because and then like, I mean, I still have to rewatch a couple of them, like Howl or Princess Mononoke, to like refresh my memory. Maybe I could do like a ranking of like all the Ghibli stuff. That would be fun. Although I feel like it would be hard because I do like a lot of them. But Arrietty, I'm gonna put it at the top of B tier, ahead of Data Life 2. I did enjoy it more. I'd probably rather rewatch Arrietty over Data Life 2. I don't think I would put it ahead of Hibike or in the same tier. If it's animation quality, hell yeah. Yeah, we'll just leave it at B. Top B. That's not bad. B's not bad. C and below is probably bad. But yeah, that is it for my rankings. I don't think there's anything else to move around, as I didn't watch. I only watched 10 for November. I was behind on a lot of seasonals, so I was catching up on a lot of those as well. So I didn't really have time to watch any like extras, because for the monthly challenges, it is 10, at least 10 anime, or you can like do like 2 requirements with like a 20 episode show, as they have like different rules for that and all that. But only 10 this time. Hopefully this video isn't too long. And then I do have 2 drawings that I ended up doing for this month, and that probably took me forever to record, like get to like making this video. The first one is of Arrietty. It took a while. I really didn't know where to start. I don't really like her, how her face ended up, or like the top of her hair. However, I really like the clip on her hair and the back of her hair. I feel like both of those look. I mean, I don't want to say they look accurate, but they look like decent in my eyes. I'm like, once again, I have like no experience drawing besides like stick figures in elementary school, and like that's the only drawing I've done, or like whether it's like art projects in like art class, or like that's all the experience I've had. So, and this is just drawing it from eye. I don't really have a method. Like, I know people like draw like the wooden dummy, like so that they can like have the correct proportions, and they can like have the whole thing so that they can see like the whole scale. I have not done any of that. It's just with the eye. I look at it, maybe it's because I drew it, but it is recognizable too, because I did the movie cover art. There wasn't really too much to her like clothing, because it's like one whole red dress. There's like no end off point, or like it's not like a top and like a skirt. It's just one whole dress, so it kind of feels weird that the only parts are like her neck and like on her arms where it like cuts off and starts to like show skin. I do like the bottom half of the dress a lot, how that turned out, and like with on the, is it her right leg? Yeah, her right leg. How like the dress is bending a little bit, and I tried to do my best with some of the leaves. I think some of them turned out okay, and like I tried to do some of the branching, like the vines and like the branches. That was that was okay too. Probably didn't add enough, maybe, or maybe I did add too much. A little disappointed in the like droplets of water on the leaves. I'd say it's fine, whatever. The main part is her. I did not like how the backpack or the like that pin that she has, like that she uses as a sword. Didn't really like how those turned out, but I think overall I do like it. I didn't give myself enough space again. You can see her top hand. It's just like the top at the top of the sketchbook. So I really do need to give myself more space. There's like this whole bottom that I could use, but I liked it. And then the second drawing is of Shido from No Game No Life. I actually really like the way she turned out. Like other than maybe like her strands of hair that are like on the right side, like the bottom ones, they're like near her like mid body or like her legs. Other than that, I really love this drawing. I mean, the face could maybe use a little bit of work. I think the top hair turned out okay. I didn't like the crown at first, but now looking at it just complete, I don't really see too much of an issue with it. I mean, some of the top pointy parts look a little off. I do like how I did her hair, her back hair. I mean, it looks like she has hair, which is good. The bow, I'm actually kind of surprised how that turned out. I thought it was terrible, absolutely terrible at the beginning. I mean, like this is like the first time I'm really looking at it after I've completed it. I was like a whole thing. So I'm really surprised about that. Really happy with that. Her like dress sort of thing, that looks all right. I think. I love her right arm, how that turned out. I'm gonna be a broken record, but I love how her hand turned out. I was so I had to redraw it like a couple times, but I think it turned out amazing for like my skill level. Like, it looks like a hand. It looks like, I mean, it is a weird position to like draw it in, but it looks like a normal hand. And I'm so glad I didn't have to do her like left hand, as it's like hidden behind her. I do like how her legs turned out, although I feel like there's a bit of inconsistency with like how thick it is, like whether it's like her thighs or like her calves. And then like the shoes, I hated the shoes when I was drawing them, but like, I mean, like the left side I still don't really like, or the right side I don't really like, but the left side I'm kind of satisfied with how that turned out. Overall, really love this drawing. It took me forever. I stayed up like all night. One of these, I guess it was the 27th that I stayed up, or where I just stayed up drawing all night, just cause like I need to finish this. It's been way too long. You can see I started, and I only did the face on like the 18th, and I was just like this is so Mendokusai, such a pain to draw, but I finally sat down, committed to it, stayed up like all night trying to finish this. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Although I feel like now I've set an expectation, and I'm gonna like fail to meet at it. Yeah, so there's like the other two anime I did want to draw were Golden Kamuy and Hibike, but I did watch the season twos for those. So for December, so maybe I will do those for that. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. I would like to get to the point of doing a drawing for like every single one, or like most of them. If we look at the list, I'd probably want to do a draw if like I could. I'd want to do a drawing for like free swim up to No Game No Life, but I just don't have the time for that really, especially if I'm watching like all these anime, wasting my time away to do review like this YouTube video, this review. Really happy with how Shido turned out. I do need to get to drawing for the next couple videos, and yeah, I do apologize how late my update is. It's like a whole month late, but hopefully I'll be able to get fall 2024 and January done, or December done, or at least in the first half of January. Might take a little longer because I have not started on the drawings, but hopefully that'll work. So yeah, that is it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I hope I see you next time. Bye bye.